front of Goa to give me a platform. And thanks to all of you who have been actually a part of the struggle to save environment by stopping Mhadei diversion. And it's very nice to be presenting to you our side from Karnataka. So,
switch on. Good.
Hello. So, I would like to thank Progressive Front of Goa and all the audience. Actually, the audience are the activists and the people who have been fighting for this cause to stop the Mhadei diversion. I am here to present you the case which we look at being in a northern part of Karnataka. This is not a broccoli. So this is a photograph taken by our Colonel Ravindra Saini, who was a founder member of Paryavarani Foundation, founded way back in 1994. So when he flew over the Bimgar Wildlife Sanctuary, now a Bimgar Wildlife Sanctuary was purely a forest of this thickness. And because it is a wildlife sanctuary, it is still built like this. And the dams which are going to come are exactly in this location. Karnataka intends to build 3 dams, Bandura, Kalsa and Haltara. All 3 are in a biodiverse, pristine forest such as this. So we will look at this project immediately in a context of what we are in a clear and imminent danger of global warming. This biodiverse forest is a carbon sink. We all know that it is a carbon sink, and all that carbon dioxide that we give out, these are the filters which absorb back the carbon dioxide. So immediate effect of the Kalsa Bandura or Mhadei diversion is going to be a direct destruction of this forest, a fragmentation of this forest, which will lead to further global warming. Next. Another thing which has been spread in our part, that is Karnataka, and most of the people have been told, does the river water go west to sea? They say the water is going west to sea, and we can use it for sugarcane plantation, irrigation, whatever. Why waste it to sea? Let it come up to Karnataka and let's grow sugarcane. But does river water go west? It goes west, that is W-E-S-T, but doesn't go W-A-S-T, west to sea. The very first slide that we saw, that kind of a forest creates a waterfalls. It rains so heavily. This is called the Cherrapunji of the south. In those mountains, when it rains, this is a very famous waterfall. This is called the Ladkyacho Fall at Surla. Such falls will be stopped on top of the mountains and will not be allowed to flow. These mountains, when they come, they carry nutrient for the sea. Dead animals, excreta of animals, rotten fruits, dried leaves, crushed mountain, everything flows down and goes to sea. Now this creates an algal bloom on our coast. The nutrients come from the mountains, that algal bloom then creates phytoplanktons, then create microbial activity, then you have krills, shrimps, crabs, mackerels. Below Bangla comes only because the nutrient goes to the sea, and ultimately landing at apex of shark and whales. So if the marine flora and fauna has to flourish, the river has to go to the sea. This river is unlike the other rivers. On an Indian peninsula, on the Western Ghats, you have west flowing rivers which within 70 to 80 kilometers reach to sea, carrying all these nutrients. And you have slow meandering rivers like Ghataprabha, Malaprabha, Krishna. All these rivers slowly go 1,500 kilometers to the east. But all the nutrient that is created in Western Ghats and carried by this river is actually for the benefit of the farmers and the people who live on peninsular India. But the west flowing rivers immediately go to the sea and create support to the marine flora and fauna. Therefore, Goa has got 20 times more of fish diversity than of that of a east coast, and in quantity it is 20 times more than the fish that you find on the east coast. It is must for everybody. It's a protein security and a security of marine flora and fauna. Next. Marine algae also plays another role. The forest which creates the river goes to the sea, and with this nutrient, what you see in the light green here is called as a marine algae. This marine algae is 10 times more efficient in absorbing carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide is absorbed by the marine algae and fixated into the sea. It is 10 times more effective than the 1 kg of the forest and 1 kg of marine algae. Marine algae will absorb 10 times more carbon dioxide. At the same time, this fixation is permanent. In a sense, it will be by the dead fish or encrustated animals or the crab shells or whatever ultimately fall down to the seabed. This carbon dioxide is taken to the seabed, whereas this carbon dioxide remains on the surface. Last year we saw forest fires. In a forest fire, this carbon dioxide was released back onto wherever the fire took place. So this is not a permanent fixation, this is a permanent fixation. And to cause this, the river has to flow to the west. This study is based upon 4 basic documents. One is created by Indian Institute of Science. It's a 120-year-old institute, very established research institute. So whatever study they say is a part of this presentation. Then you have Ashoka Trust and Norwegian Institute of Water Research. This is a 40-year-old institute based in Bangalore. And this is the institute which goes wherever there are water disputes to actually find out what are the exact inside which is creating the water dispute. And then IIT Mumbai. IIT Mumbai is what we are going to say. We have alumni of IIT Mumbai here, Milind Khanolkar, one of the Goa's first IIT after I think Manohar Padikarji. So what IIT Bombay says is nothing more than what we studied in school. We studied in school that the rains, the trees bring rain, the forest will bring rain, and the biodiverse forest of Western Ghats brings rain. What IIT Bombay now puts it into figure that 40% of the moisture which is given to the winds coming from the southwest direction from the Arabian Sea, 40% of the moisture is given to the clouds is from the biodiverse forest of the Western Ghats. It says biodiverse forest, it doesn't say forest. Now this 40% comes into prominence when there is an El Nino effect. When you have El Nino effect, when the rainfall reduces, this is more prominent that the more humidity is given from this forest to maintain the disparity between El Nino and La Nina effects. So that is the importance of the forest. That is what IIT Mumbai says, and that is what we have been studying in the school. This is a geographical location. We are here, so we know that we are on a tri-state boundary. This is how, this is Goa, Maharashtra, Karnataka, and these are the locations. This is Haltar Dam, where a small stream of Valvanti river moves into the Maharashtra, then moves back near Sakri, back to Mandovi, and then becomes Mandvi. This is the way the Mandvi is flowing to the Arabian Sea. Then we have this Kalsa. This is a very, you all must have seen this particular site because this is where the maximum destruction took place, and they put a tunnel and the work was going on. That is where the Kalsa is. And then the third tributary, which is called as the Bandura Nala. The Bandura Nala, again, all this thing comes on a boundary of the 3 states, and the 3 states are up in arms. There are legal battles, there have been discussions in tribunal, now Supreme Court. The states are fighting with one another. So, we are trying to make this an interstate problem. We are trying to make this a political problem, and we are trying to make this a language problem, and the state chauvinism, and all other kind of a garbs which are coming in, and we are looking at the issue in a totally political and interstate, and has given a lot of offshoots. and it's complicated. It has been going on for almost, well, I know of more than 35 years, but the project came in much before 40 years back. Rivers started flowing well before humans came on this earth. So when the Mandavi was flowing and a Mhadei was flowing and a Malaprabha was flowing, humans were not there. Now in a contemporary boundaries which were actually brought onto the paper by Britishers, Portuguese, and then we now have a contemporary boundaries. But if we have to really look at this problem, we have to look at this problem by removing all these boundaries and looking at to actually what is happening there. This is the picture. There are no boundaries now. This is Malaprabha, which originates in Western Ghat in Khanapur Taluka. We all know Khanapur Taluka adjacent to Goa, and she flows eastward, goes down, and then from here it goes to Bay of Bengal. Here they have a Navaltil dam which was constructed. It is almost about 100 kilometers. So we look at Malaprabha from the Ugam to the Navaltil dam. At the same time, in the same region, you have Mhadei river, which flows from here. It comes down from, this is Kankumbi, into the Mhadei Wildlife Sanctuary. One part goes into Reserve Forest of Karnataka, Reserve Forest of Maharashtra, and then this is Bandura, where the one tributary comes from the Bimgar Sanctuary. Then again they join and it turns into a Mandavi river, what we see here. Now this is the actual picture. 1989 to 1999, Goan, lot of leaders like Rajendra Kerkar, you had Richard D'Souza, who was a good forest officer, BNHS, Kasbekar, and all of the people. There are innumerous people who carried out an extensive study. It took them 10 years to form Mhadei Wildlife Sanctuary, which is about 220 square kilometers. The notification of this, when it came out, General Jacob was a governor at that time, and the notification says that the formation of this wildlife sanctuary is a water security for this region. It doesn't say for Goa, it doesn't say for Karnataka, it doesn't say for Maharashtra. It is for this region. And when we say region, this is a complete region irrespective of boundaries. Taking that, our people started working in Karnataka. We have what we call like a Paryavarani Foundation. We started this work in 1994, and it took us nearly 17 years to form the Bimgar Wildlife Sanctuary, which is 190 square kilometers. Again, the notification says that it is a water security for a region. So, if you consider these two wildlife sanctuaries, and if you see the Reserve Forest of Maharashtra and the adjoining Reserve Forest and the contiguous forest, the total area what we are looking at right now, which is in danger, is 1,000 square kilometers of forest. Next. We started a resistance to this diversion in 1989. 1989, when we realized where the dams are going to come and how the water is going to be diverted, we first put in a flag, red flag, saying that this is not good. We informed Goa government, we informed Karnataka government, and we informed Maharashtra government in 1989. And since then, we are trying to stop this diversion. We have used all gentlemanly, all democratic processes, everything to say that it would actually, somebody would get a sense and stop. But we are at this stage where we know where we are, and I will take you further as to what other things are happening, for what we should be alert about. One minute. This is Western Ghats, we all know. We are in a part of a Western Ghat. We had, SESA was formed, and after that, a lot of people walked from 1,500 people walked from north and south. They met in Goa, and then Goa, that created Gadgil report. Gadgil said that this is a very eco-sensitive region and this is not to be disturbed. Gadgil report somehow was not accepted, followed by Kasturi Ranjan. The Gadgil reports were diluted by 60%. Kasturi Ranjan report came in. Kasturi Ranjan is still not implemented, and we suddenly get up, and when we had Wayanad, we say, okay, what happened? Okay, Kasturi Ranjan was not accepted. It went on for 2-3 months. Now everybody has forgotten who is Kasturi Ranjan and what is to be done with the Western Ghats. Western Ghats has an importance in a sense. If you look at the whole world, if you go west of India, you will come to Yemen, then you will go to Somalia, and then you will go to Saudi Arabia, then you will go to Egypt, then into Mediterranean, Libya, then Morocco. It's all desert. You go across Atlantic and you go into Mexico, again it's all desert. So at a latitude of India, the earth is required to be arid and desert. But if you go to east of India, you have peninsular India, which is green. You go to Malaysia, you go to Burma, you go to Philippines, you go to Cambodia, and then you ride around to China. Wherever the southwest monsoons come from the Arabian Sea and whirl around by Coriolis forces, you will find the earth is green. So the importance of the Western Ghats, which is that we make rain for half the world at this latitude. So we carry that responsibility that this Western Ghats must be protected. 2 reports have come. The Indian Institute of Science, the latest report, I met this scientist in Bangalore, and they said this is what we have told the government, that this is an eco-sensitive zone. This red part is an eco-sensitive category region 1. They specifically carried out study for last 3 decades into the basins of Shapura River, basin of Ghataprabha River, which are contemporary rivers, basin of Mhadei River, basin of Malaprabha River, again contemporary, and this study is based upon the basins of these 4 rivers in this Western Ghats, and they said, do not construct dam. This is the eco-sensitive region category 1, and do not disturb this. This will destroy, if you destroy this and fragment this forest, microclimate will go, rainfall will reduce, temperatures will rise, and there will be an irreversible damage which we cannot correct. This is how it shows. This is a Bandura project. This is a footprint of Bandura project, which is clearly in the eco-sensitive region 1. This is a footprint of Kalsa, which is again in the eco-sensitive region 1, and this is Haltara. So all these 3 projects are coming in an eco-sensitive region category 1. This is the highest category region. The worst thing it also does is these projects, when they are constructed, you see this black vein or arterial things like, those are rivulets which are fed by this water which is drained into this region. The water draining into these rivulets will be reduced drastically, causing damage not only to the eco-sensitive region 1 but also to eco-sensitive region category 1 and 2. This damage will affect all the 3 states, Maharashtra, Goa and Karnataka. That's what we call region. It will damage the ecosystem of this region. As far as Belgaum is concerned, from where we come, this is the only evergreen forest left. For us, the winds coming from southwest, going up, going into this evergreen forest, create heavy rain in Khanapur, which is the Cherrapunji of south. And then the Malaprabha river starts in this direction and Mhadei river starts in this direction. This is from the ecological insights of northern rivers of central India, Karnataka and Goa. And this is an official document. This was submitted to the government of Karnataka, that is our government. They did not act on it, and now it is, they said that we have put it in a public domain for people to see. So to make people aware, where are these dams going to come and what damage they will do. Next. To put it in a simple thing as to what the issue is and where we are in. This is Mhadei, originating, this dotted line is a ridge. It's a mountain ridge. This is east side of the mountain and this is west side of the mountain. Mhadei originates only within 2 to 3 kilometers from the origins of Malaprabha. Only difference is there is the ridge. Now, The winds come from here. We now have a wildlife sanctuary which is protected. It was a forest before it was protected, and it was a very nice thing that it rains in the sanctuary in this particular forest. Mhadei starts flowing, Goa has good water, everything is nice and hunky-dory. Then on the other side, the rains go, they rain heavily into Khanapur, create Malaprabha, go down this, and there is a reservoir which is about 80 to 100 kilometers from where the origin of Malaprabha is here. 80% of the water which collects in this particular dam, Navaltirth, comes from Khanapur Taluka. This is very important for us in context of North Karnataka. Navaltirth dam came up in 1972 to cater to traditional crops like cotton, jowari, bajri, soybean. But lately, after this dam came up, the pattern changed. So this story starts now in 1972, where when they had huge amount of water, which was sufficient for traditional crops and for the drinking water needs of this region, they started growing sugarcane. Followed by sugarcane factories. Today, there are 9 sugar factories operating in Malaprabha Basin, where our government says that there is a water deficit, we don't have drinking water. If you don't have drinking water, you don't grow sugarcane. They are growing, 9 sugar factories have come up. There is a software factories which have come up, which just use lakhs and lakhs of liters of water to wash their soft drink water bottles. Forget how much they must be filling up. You have industries which are water guzzling. You have distilleries which have come up here. And now the government they first looked at diverting Mhadei in 1989 as an irrigation project. But when they realized that 2 wildlife sanctuaries are now formed, it has got a protection. And so they started changing their colors. They started saying we want drinking water. Now it is a facade which has been created that we want drinking water, because if you say you have a drinking water project, it doesn't require many clearances or statutory clearances which are required can be bypassed. So when you have 9 sugar factories, the 10th one just got sanctioned by local minister, got it sanctioned for herself. And there are 9 sugar factories in the in the proposal which are going to come. They doubled the sugarcane plantation in last 11 years, and they say we want drinking water. And what happens with drinking water is, you can show me the NA. So the DPR recently got approval just before the last election. The Water Commission and all, they suddenly said that we approve the DPR. The DPR has got many lacunas, where somewhere they say that we have drinking water, somewhere they say multi-purpose. They come back. And the DPR is approved by Central Water Commission as a drinking water project, whereas this is an irrigation project. Okay, we'll skip that. We'll look at that afterwards. So their proposal is to construct a dam here. They're calling it drinking water diversion. Here they are putting it at Khalsa, where they want to drinking. This particular part was constructed even though when it was subjudiced, they completed this part. They are waiting to put the dam. The DPR for these 2 dams is completed. Now these are not ordinary dams. These are the dams which, normally you have a dam or a barrage, the water stops on one side and then gradually over a period it starts flowing into the direction of the river. Here they are going to divert the direction of the river to connect to this. This we have already seen whenever you are traveling at Kankumbi from There and near Kankumbi, you have seen this tunnel being done. Now you don't see it because it is 100 feet underground. Here recently they started an activity at Nersa village. They put a plant where they are making a 20 feet dia pipes. They have realized this is very difficult, so they have started acquiring the lands of these people. We are opposing this. We have got all the farmers together. We had a huge agitation in Khanapur against this dam. People are now aware that there is the water will be diverted and their livelihood is going to be affected. Followed by that, last month in June 3rd, we had a massive rally in Belgaum. Again, that rally was non-political, non-religious, non-languages. Everybody came on road, more than 2,500 people. And we said that if the government is going to go under a disguise of drinking and do an irreversible damage to a forest and carry water for sugarcane plantation, then it is necessary that we now wake up, because the very people who are supposed to guard our forest, to guard our interest and guard our ecology, are lying by saying that they want drinking water, whereas they want water for the sugarcane plantation. All the applications which have been forwarded by the forest department, they are saying there is no wildlife sanctuary close by. They say there is nothing applicable. Environmental not required. National Wildlife Board not required. These are the recommendations followed from all the departments of forest, right from grassroots to the level of the highest authority. And now they are going to center to regional empowered committee and telling them, you give us the permission. So when a government itself starts hiding the data, government itself wants to damage the forest, and that time we have very good people fighting the battles in the court, doing all this, but it becomes very difficult also when the government itself starts hiding the data and finding the data. When you ask for it, they just divulge it, saying that for this reason you won't get this RTI, for this reason you won't get this RTI. So this is the time now we have to come and understand what will happen, and then now this is the people's movement with everybody together. We'll have to say that we don't want it. What will happen if you put this dam is the water in Mhadei river coming down will reduce. 2 and 3 tributaries of Mhadei major, where rainfall comes down this mountain cascading down, and go to one screen earlier. Okay. Earlier you must have seen that there was a light blue water here, and the river flew. The river was flowing. And now you see that there is a reduction in water in this wildlife sanctuary. And reduction in water in Mandvi river, the saline water is going to enter. There will be more salinity into the Mandvi river, which is the first effect, which would have a lot of our wells and a lot of our lands becoming saline in Goa. Yeah, here. This was a very nice picture where the river flows, keeps the salt water out. The next slide. Reduction in flow, increase of salt water. This is a clear and imminent danger for Goa at the stage 1. This is going to be the first stage where Goa, what will happen to us is, as this forest starts drying and there is a direct damage to this forest, we are going to have less rain in Khanapur, less rains in Rakaskop, which supplies water to Belgaum, less rain in Ghataprabha, less rain in onward of Belgaum. So already Belgaum and all this region is heading for desertification, for deforestation. This will be accelerated with this. What's going to happen to the people who are demanding this water for their irrigation? 80% of the water which comes here comes from Khanapur. They will be the one which will be at the first, will be filling the pinch of water here. But under the disguise that this water is going west to sea, this water is going west to Goa, we must utilize it. This is our water. The chauvinism which comes, they have forgotten the fact that they are going to be very badly affected. There are many ways they can get water. He's got water. Mhadei joined together. They have Benihalla, a tributary of Malaprabha. It's a very, very prominent. Every year they have floods. They could block that and take the water. They could put check dams and hold the water and release it as slowly as after the monsoon back into the reservoir. They have destroyed most of their lakes. They can rejuvenate their lakes. We have a person in Belgaum who is Shivaji Karnikar, North Karnataka, North Belgaum region. He completely make it water surplus only by Pani Adva, Pani Jirva scheme. What we run is you stop water and you let the water percolate. They have not attempted to anything and diverted people's mind. Whatever government comes there, whichever party, they are always government. We will get our water. This is our right. This is our right to get water. But they have not done, which is actually was required to be done. This dam is silted 40%. 24 TMC, 10 TMC water is lost because there is a silting in this dam. Why is the silting taken place? There is a deforestation, mass deforestation in Malaprabha River. Malaprabha River has started growing sugarcane. Now sugarcane, when you deforest a biodiverse forest and when you make the trenches and you plant sugarcane, the silt is going to go. If they could silt, only remove the silt, 20% silt from this, they have 2 TMC water which could have come from Bandura, which they are pressing right now. But our government is not trying to do anything here and to make water in Malaprabha, but they are banked upon giving false statements, creating false narratives, and put these dams. This will result in desertification of North Karnataka. It is not immediately going to happen. In the next 30-40 years, if the dam come up, North Karnataka in a danger of complete desertification. This forest will lose its evergreen capability. It was evergreen forest in Goa and in Karnataka. Rainfall will reduce drastically. The flows of Mhadei is going to reduce. There is further going to be the increase of salt water in Goa. This is a clear and imminent danger irrespective of boundaries, politics, languages. Where what I feel is that the more and more people we educate, we go to villages, we go everywhere and let everybody know this is what we are facing. Let's not do it to grow some little quantity of sugarcane somewhere in the interior Karnataka, 100 kilometers from here. I will stop here. Thank you. Yeah, there is a movie, 4-minute movie. Yeah, this is what I wanted to show. This is the DPR, where if you see, this everything is non-applicable. You know, this, yeah. Here I also can't read, but you know, riverine regime effect, ecological effect, environmental impact assessment not required. These are the DPRs, and this is the DPR which has been approved by Central Water Commission with a lot of lacunas. Yes. I want to show what will happen to our famous Lakadi. I mean, how their planning is. You show the waterfall. Now we can see waterfall and that's This is the place where you have that waterfall which we showed in that presentation, that Ladakya waterfall which you see from Surla. This is the location of the waterfall. This is the boundary of Goa and Karnataka. This is where the dam is going to be. It is within 100 meters of this wildlife sanctuary, Mhadei Wildlife Sanctuary. They will stop the entire water coming for about 7 to 8 kilometers here, and they will take it back to Malaprabha and to Hubli and Dharwad. Now this is a small stream which is coming. This forms the boundary between in Goa and Karnataka. This is Karnataka. This is Goa, and they are trying to block it here by making the changes in the landscape. and then will divert it here, put it here and take it away. Then what will happen to this waterfall will only depend upon what is locally falling here within just 1 square kilometer. That waterfall will not exist. And this is likely to happen with almost all the waterfalls. This is a classic study where they are not even leaving a part of it, even this tributary, because it is shared between the two boundaries of Karnataka and Goa. They just still want to stop it and take it. Waterfall. This is the waterfall which is. This is the waterfall which you will not see anymore. Can I run a movie for 4 minutes?
Yeah. Sure.
Rivers have been flowing before when humans came into existence and before the nations and state boundaries were formed. In the western Ghats, both the rivers, the west-flowing Mhadei and the east-flowing Malaprabha, originate in Khanapur Taluka, separated by a few kilometers. These rivers originate in the forest, and they are the lifelines of the forests of the Mhadei and Bimgar wildlife sanctuaries. This biodiverse forest of 700 square kilometers is responsible for heavy rainfall, and therefore this region is called the Cherrapunji of the south. Because of these very large wildlife sanctuaries, there is heavy rainfall in the region, which makes the rivers flow, making Goa and North Karnataka green and prosperous. Goa is endowed with coconut, cashew, mango, and many varieties of trees, and fields of rice. Fishing and tourism are also booming in Goa. The North Karnataka region is also prosperous because of the east-flowing Malaprabha river. There are a lot of sugar factories and sugarcane fields. There are more and more sugar factories and sugarcane fields emerging, and therefore there is an increase in the need for more and more water, as the sugarcane crop requires more water. The setting up of new industries and monoculture plantations has resulted in a lot of deforestation too. This has made the Malaprabha River a water deficit river. To cater to the increase in demand for more and more water, the Karnataka government is constructing 3 dams on the Mhadei River to divert the water to Hubli and Dharwad 100 kilometers away. This will completely stop the flow of water to this entire forest region, and this will affect 700 square kilometers of rich biodiverse forests. In Goa, the rapidly flowing Mhadei River stops the salt water from entering inland. If the flow of the waters of the Mhadei River is reduced, the salty seawater will ingress inland into Goa, turning the groundwater unsuitable for drinking or agriculture, creating a massive water crisis in Goa. Think about a forest without the flowing of a river. The forest and its wildlife will struggle to exist. Eventually, there will be huge reduction in rainfall in the entire Goa and North Karnataka region. Initially, the forest will begin to dry, and there will be wildfires in the summer season, which will be catastrophic. Recently, we saw the destruction caused by wildfires in Los Angeles. When the river flows into the sea, it carries a lot of organic matter from the forest to the sea, and this acts as a nutrient to the marine life in the sea. This organic forest waste further creates marine flora and fauna, which in turn creates marine life. The whole marine ecosystem comes into existence, which is why Goa gets a huge catch of fish. The Mhadei diversion will adversely affect the fishing industry in Goa. Finally, there will be desertification of the Goa and North Karnataka region, which will increase the temperature drastically. Goa will no longer be a paradise, and eventually this will affect tourism, farming, and fishing. Because of global warming, the sea levels are already rising and Goa will be facing the ingress of seawater inland. This, coupled with the stoppage of the Mhadei River and the reduction in rainfall due to damage of the forests, will create a disastrous situation for Goa. Now is the time to stand up and say no to the Mhadei diversion to save Goa.
हॅलो कोणाक क्वेश्चन्स आसा जाल्यार तांच्यानी विचारपाक एनी क्वेश्चन्स टू
Hi, Captain. Thanks a lot for all the informative. Thank you for that. Just wanted to ask that in our own personal capacities, how can we contribute, make a difference? Because obviously we feel helpless at this level. So in our capacity, what can we do to support this cause and to prevent these dams from ever coming? Yeah, that's what I want.
What we feel and what we have been doing. In Karnataka and Belgaum, what we have started is the only way now we can make our government understand that we know what is been going wrong. Letting them know that we know that the falsehood of the government and the departments what they are doing. Letting every common, because all this while the information has been suppressed under a state chauvinism, language chauvinism, and our water. And when we say our water, we are taking water away from the forest actually, which gives us back the water. So making actually even the people who are demanding water, there are 4 or 5 talukas where the political strength of Karnataka lies. These are the people who are demanding because actual issue is that they have a canal which goes, canal has been damaged on one side and it is leaking. So this side, left of the canal, they are taking 2 or 3 crops, and the top of the canal, at the end of the canal, the water doesn't reach, they actually have a problem within themselves. But this solution which they are looking at is going to cause a further damage to them. So we are actually going to those areas and letting them know. I had my presentation in Dharwad twice. We engaged people from Bailhongal, which are supposed to be very violent people in that part. We engaged with them. Then we got to Bangalore. Bangalore we made a presentation. There is an organization called Parisaraka now, which is a local Kannada thing. And we also had recently, the people came, we got them to Kankumbi and we showed them that most of the activists from Karnataka, we got them. And we took them into this region and to tell them what it happens. And they actually stood in the basin and said that we will not allow diversion. So that kind of awareness we are trying to build up in Karnataka, northern part of it. We are going to each village. We are going to have small groups which go and talk and engage the people who are demanding the water. And actually, even Belgaum people doesn't know because they say, okay, diversion, what happens? People are taking it very lightly. But the last, after we created that awareness for almost 6 months, and going to say Rotary Club, Belgaum Chamber of Commerce, Hotel Owners Association, farmer groups. Then we actually went and staged the first official protest in Belgaum, which was never possible. See, our group tried to do it in 2000. The group was victimized. They told them, we'll come into your house and kill you. Truckloads of people did come from the farming community. The Karnataka Electricity Board got behind the people. The people who were businessmen were haunted. Everybody who was in that group and who was active at that time was suppressed. And therefore, for a long time, this did not take up again. But now the time has come again that we have to do it. All the people have risen again. The moment we had the morcha, we had the threats and on the open threats on the TV channel that we will come and we will look at you in your own house. So that's the resistance which is going to be there. But what we have found now that as we are educating more and more information is going to the people, this kind of a talk is reducing. They're ready to understand, they're ready to listen. So, but the pressure on the government has to be there from the people, irrespective of which political party ruling at that time. There has to be a pressure, and the people who make certain decisions at center must know that their political career also is dependent upon taking wrong decisions for. So people force, this is purely technical, that people once they are educated, there will be a force that the people who make decisions, the departments which are involved, they will know that we have to be careful because people are in the know of the situation. So the only thing I say, this is not a protest, this is not a thing, but this is something where you should take across all the 3 states. It should not happen in Karnataka, it must happen in Goa, it must happen. I am holding a couple of things in Maharashtra, because Maharashtra also is affected. And this damage will not restrict to a small pocket of, where we are looking at, but this fragmentation of this forest will be a major effect on the local ecology in the long run. So, like to your concern, we must take it this to very common man to understand that this is the issue.
Congratulations, sir, for your nice presentation, and also congratulations to the Progressive Front of Goa organizing meeting. My question is that the government of High Court, Bombay High Court, already declared tiger reserve. If our government sincerely declared that tiger is going to save the Mhadei or not, because already High Court has already told declared the tiger reserve, because it is coming in that region, that Western Ghats and all. So I think that problem of this diversion outside is going to affect the Karnataka government. And secondly, what happens? What you said, that you should have a political will also, because nowadays what happens? They are misguiding the people. They are saying that they want for irrigation, and it is totally all this thing propaganda they are doing. That's why the people has to get agitated. All this Karnataka and Goa also to fight this. It is not an individual who can fight. It is a people's issue. So for that, I feel that the people of even Goans are not that much aware of that. They are saying we are getting water, okay. But as this thing issue, it is possible to make awareness, because common people, they don't know. So it is, I think, you have to educate this awareness among these people, because if you see Sattari, question is can it be possible that all the Goans will fight for this thing with the people awareness? It's the more important. It is possible or not?
It is possible. It is possible. People awareness is possible. That if we say about 200 people here, multiplied by we contact more than 25. Even our group, we have gone to almost 500 things. And with respect to what you said, yes, a tiger reserve will strengthen the case of Goa. It will, but the corollary is at the same time what we are doing in Karnataka is we are trying to bypass all that and saying we want drinking water. So it's a complicated problem. It's a state government decisions, but what you ask, this is it. That it will strengthen the case, but at the same time we have to look at what is going wrong on Karnataka side.
Any more questions? Ask a question, Richard.
Sir, you spoke about Norwegian, that report. Is India the signatory to the Oslo Convention for the water?
I may not have that much of.
No, as per that. So I thought, I am looking at it, will it technically help in the courts, the reports that has come from the Norwegian company?
Yeah, you are talking about this particular Norwegian report. No, it will come of a help in such a way. That report says that 80% of the water which is collected in Navalgund, Navalpit area comes because of it rains in Khanapur. Khanapur is a region which is in Western Ghat where the 3 dams are going to come and going to damage the forest.
So my question is, sir, whether
no, that study. No, no.
Oslo Convention.
Convention, no, this is not as per the convention. What you saw here, Norwegian Institute, is not with the Oslo Convention. It is the study which was carried out by ATRI under the this thing of Norwegian Institute. So it is not on the Oslo Convention. The only way we can use it, I don't know whether the courts will be, we have very senior lawyers and they will be able to say what will happen in the court. But as far as people are concerned, to convince the people and also to support the case, that how Karnataka government is disguising the water usage, because that report gives a complete report as to how did the sugarcane plantation increase in last so many years and how much water they are consuming, where does the water come from. So if we have that as evidence, we can say that the water priority was misused. And only way by reversing say about 10 to 15% of that sugarcane plantation or stopping further sugarcane plantation, they can easily make 2 TMC. And that report will have the basis only up to that. How much of court, I may not.
Yeah. Thank you.
I have a question. This seems to be a good presentation. Has there been any? This seems to be a good presentation. Quite a good job. But has there been any effort to formally present it to the Chief Minister or relevant authorities in Goa? If not, is there a plan to do so?
Yes. We will have to get to them and get to it. But I think most of the people, we assume they are not, but if anybody wants a presentation or wherever, we would like to make this presentation.
My question is, has this presentation gone to the CM? Finally, they are the people who are making the decisions for us.
No, it has not gone. We'll have to take it.
So my question is that now Progressive Front has organized this meeting today. They have called to a learned person here, Nitin Dhond, and you have explained to us very nicely in detail. My question is that, before that I would like to say, 2019 as Prajal Bab said, even I was part of this people. On the streets there, where you have been taken to the police station. Later again, he performed puja with Prajal Bab. I still remember Mhadei river. Birdi mein itna bada meeting kara. Everything we did, sir. Now my thing is like, you were telling about the Karnataka farmers and these people went, even tried to kill and all that. Karnataka is fighting for their people. Their government is fighting for their state. Their people are fighting for their state. Sir, I want to know now that our CM, Pramod Sawant, how do we convince him to fight for the people, for Goa and for Mhadei? Convince kaisa karna hai? How we should convince Pramod Sawant, the CM of Goa? Itna hai.
People pressure has to build up by understanding the clear and imminent danger. And when the people pressure ultimately would make a sense felt by anyone who is in decision making. Because just a presentation is one part, and that presentation being understood by millions of people who understand that what is happening correctly and they know the fact of it and how it will actually affect them, and then they will be very careful that people are watching us. Public at large is watching you. Like in Karnataka, we want to make it clear and to go and tell them that you are lying, and we are going to make people understand that you are lying.
Any more questions?
Yeah. This is a biodiversity hotspot.
Question. Primarily what you're saying is that forget Karnataka, forget the borders and everything. You're saying that there is a effort to divert water to a particular region for their own benefit. Now that diversion, I'm not saying it's Karnataka side or Goa side or whatever. Again, that diversion is going to affect the biodiversity of this whole region in terms of final effect of getting desertification, as you say, is going to happen. You have put up very colorful slides of what can happen. How bonafide is it? Has it been verified? I mean, what do you have to substantiate that claim?
Now, I substantiate my claim by a lot of studies. I just put forward 4 studies, which is Indian Institute of Science,
Yeah.
then you have ATRI and IIT Mumbai.
So do all of them validate whatever has been shown here?
No, if you have to scientifically validate, it might take a long time and long data to do it with the ground truthing. What we have right now are the warnings which have been given by all these agencies. And this is what is going to happen.
So it's still a hypothesis based on the whatever they think is going to happen. It's not factual or something that can happen. But you see, the idea is, I understand, now to be able to go up and say that this is what's going to happen and it doesn't happen. I mean, it goes both ways. No?
It is both ways. It is both ways, but same is the case with global warming. Who says that is global?
I agree.
So we have to go in a learned way that what all has been scientifically available to us to project what is going to happen. Like weather warning. Weather warning comes from a weather department. Whether you will say it will happen rain or not, it's a different story. But you will decide whether you will go out of the house or not. Depends upon the weather warning. But it is scientifically and the basis of what? So
My point being that, my point being that to be able to make these claims, you should first of all come up with certain valid statements from these institutes.
That is what.
That is what this. See, as institute. It is how you already have. You have a formula A plus B is equal to A. You have. So you know that formula. This is what is going to happen. Nobody is going to say specifically that you have a dam here and this is what will happen. To make that kind of a study, ground truthing and having that data. Right now, everything what is being decided, diversion of water has got no data.
So basically,
I think he has already answered the question. So please let others ask the question.
Dr. Dhond, welcome to the land of Feni, Konkani, where Amarambar, Amrinder, Anthony live in harmony.
Yes.
There's this famous saying, never appeal to mercy, always appeal to self-interest. You have made a case strong enough to appeal to the self-interest of the dispensation, just like Palestine is. But why is the dispensation not listening? Is it electoral gain, and is Goa's interest dispensable vis-a-vis Karnataka? Sir.
We are all going to lose in the bargain. Karnataka is the one also going to lose along with this. So we have to make us learned, we are, but other people learned, and we have to get back that the dispensation, what you say, the people will understand if we do this wrongly, we will not be looked upon as the good leaders, or we will not be looked upon as the good administrators when we have this data and we still go ahead. This is because the whole riding or whatever is happening today is on the basis of a crying baby gets more water or milk. In this case, crying Karnataka is getting more water because they come in a trucks and they do all this sort of thing, which is reduced now. Whatever. Yeah. So it's all ultimately going to be whoever is crying and wherever there is a benefit. So judiciary, it should not happen. Politics, it will happen, but if ultimately it has to go and we have to choose our good leader, then we'll have to look at who actually is looking at the interest of not only Goa per se, or not only Karnataka, a region, the interest of the region. And there when the pressure comes back on them, that is what I feel. People know what I'm doing. They are, when they vote, they will look at what I did for this, because this should be a main issue other than any other issues right now for all this region.
Okay. I'm Zarina, and I have a very simple question. When are we going to stop telling lies? It's a general to introspect for all of us over here. We are all somebody's relative, somebody's fans, somebody's supporters. When are we going to be real as human beings? When are we going to talk scientific sense? And we need to do one suggestion is to the audience and you also, we can think over it and act, because our Mahatma Gandhi started a civil disobedience. Why don't we stop paying all the taxes? What is the chief town planner doing for Goa? What is the planning system? Where are the planning commissions? Why should we pay money to the water resource, to the hydrogeologists, to the PWD, to the forest? What are they doing? They are not doing their jobs. So we need to have a debate with these learned fools running all these departments and taking fat salaries month after month. And we need to slam, shame and send all the legislators back home. They are not legislating because they are incompetent to comprehend what you and I are talking today. They are illiterate. They are only there for greed. And we have stupidly played onto their freebie card, gone onto that stupid bandwagon, and we are killing ourselves. We have hit on our own limbs. Question is the informed planners of all these states, we have to go and throttle them black and
Yeah,
blue.
we have to collectively do it.
Yes.
We had to get out that Badami that time.
Thank you so much for your wonderful presentation. I think I've learned a lot today. One question I have is that, have you thought about a solution that can help both Goa and Karnataka get what they want?
Yes. First, we have to think that damaging Western Ghats and turning water, diverting water from one river to another river should not be our first resort. It could be a last resort, or it should never be a resort. And if you look at it that way, see what happens when you are playing to the public. Immediately what you can show is what public appreciate. They are going to get water from Goa to me in Bainungar. But if you tell these people in Bainungar that you should be digging lakes and you should be preserving water and you should be changing your cultivation pattern and we should not allow more sugar factories and distilleries to come, is not an easily palatable thing to be which a politician can tell the public, or the public will accept it. But if we once decide that this is not a solution, what we are looking at diversion, then there are many. In this case, there is a Benihara Nala. I don't have that presentation. There is a Benihara Nala which flows north of the south of Hubli Dharwad and it joins the Malaprabha river. This year, just with the beginning of monsoon, they had floods because this Nala started overflowing. If they just do catchment and stop one thing, they will stop the floods which are occurring down into the Krishna river, and they could have a reserve water which is much more than they can get out of one diversion like this. It is there. Desilting. The dam, I already said, is already desilted. Now, 40% of silting, and the silting has taken place because you have damaged the forest on the basin. Now, once the moment you damage the forest onto the basin of the river, from where the water is coming down, you are getting the mud coming into the dam. The dams, all dams are ultimately going to, people have to understand the hydro irrigation, what we are looking at is not a permanent solution because silting. But this silting in this dam has accelerated because entire catchment and the district which comes in Khanapur Taluka has been deforested. We have removed biodiverse forest and we have planted acacia, eucalyptus for the paper factories. Now that has caused the silting. Now why they don't have water after the monsoon stops? Because all this forest which has been damaged in the basin of Malaprabha and replaced by this eucalyptus, and eucalyptus doesn't, a biodiverse forest will hold the water into there like a sponge and keep releasing and make the river perennial. I have been living on Malaprabha bank for last 30 years. The river was flowing. Today the river doesn't flow. River doesn't flow only because the forest has been damaged and the forest doesn't release the water after the monsoon. So if a positive thinking of replacing this forest or the bank of a river with biodiverse forest will give you more water. Blocking Benihara will give more water. You changing cropping pattern or stopping more sugarcane factories to come up. These are possible solutions to the problem. But then if a politician wants to have a sugarcane factory, the politician simply when we made and when the racket happened, at our end, she came and said, Ki, I run my sugar factory on the borewells. The borewells are in the basin of Malaprabha. The aquifer is the one which creates a river. It's like killing the river as a fighter. No, the Dhruna Hatya, that lady, she was a lady, so it's a Dhruna Hatya of a river. But she proudly said, because she doesn't have a knowledge that when she's taking water from aquifer, she's actually taking the water from the origin of the river. But she proudly says, this is the thing, like where I have a land, my farmland on the bank of the river, we have a temple which is called a Tirth Kunde. Tirth Kunde in a sense, you have a cone, water body from where you get Tirth, and there is Shiva temple. This is what actually has happened to Malaprabha, so I want to tell this story. It is on a mountain like this, and then it slopes down, and then it goes to Malaprabha basin. That's where we have our agricultural land. 4-5 years back when I went, before that the water is to continuously flow through the temple, through that shivling, and would give water to the village. Excessive water would go to the river. And we have still had the reverence and so I asked him what happened. He said, no, okay, last so many days now, it doesn't come. He said, the moment water stops. So when we went to study on top, people have bought lots. Now this land is not very cheap there. It is expensive. Everybody must have spent more than 1.5 crore, 2 crores to take that 5-6 acres of land. The first thing they did was they put a borewell. Okay, borewell you want to grow orchard, all right, but then you start planting sugarcane. Now they have stolen the water from God himself. There is no more tirth in the temple. Now, not growing sugarcane and not puncturing this aquifer is a solution. You should have a ban on further cropping of sugarcane in that region. So there are many solutions which are viable and possible solutions. But if you look at a simple quick fix solution which is going to damage everything, we have to get rid of that, it should be out of mind that this is not a solution, and then we start looking at all other solutions. There are many solutions. Like I said, Shivaji Karnataka, north of Karnataka, north of Belgaum, in that area, there was no water. But this one man, he is with our movement, Shivaji Karnataka, but he is now named as a Goan agent. He's been given Kannada, he's been decorated as a Kannada. This is Karnataka's agriculture icon. But he's the one who created water. There was no, now they have a lot of water, but he said made one thing that I will give you water. Your village has now got water, but you will not grow sugarcane. So that kind of activity, if the government takes it, if one man can do it. Our group was awarded by Karnataka government in 2014 for ecology. Today they look at us as we are anti-state. But the solution, the answer to your thing is, if we stop thinking which is not viable, irreversible, and look at viable solutions, there are many.
I feel the real victory for this presentation is not Mhadei, the whole issue. The real victory for you all will come when this. I'm a journalist, okay? I'll talk from the journalistic perspective. The real victory will come when all 40 people, all the 40 MLAs are shown this. We already have one here today. I think that's the real victory. That will be a real victory.
That is what should happen.
Like this gentleman said, are we talking about hypothesis? First of all, cutting a forest itself is a big crime. Because you are removing all the carbon in the air, what is stored for all this year. And already
we have one question coming up from the lady up there.
Hi, Captain Nitin. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. Today I felt I am much knowledgeable about Mhadei diversion. Straight away come to my question. I am a teacher by profession and usually I put up my status on the Mhadei issue. So there are kids from the age group of 15 to 80 who usually keep asking me about the Mhadei diversion. So the presentation that you explained, to be very truthful, sir, I could not understand some of the scientific terms that you used, to be very frank. So is it possible for you to make the presentation in a simpler way, maybe a video, so that I can share it with the age group of like 15 to 18 years? Because as we say, children are the future citizens of India. So my question is it possible for you to share it in maybe some simpler words or a simpler video, so that I can share it with them, I can explain it to them in a better way?
We are preparing some. Out of that, the first one is ready because it was ready already. It's called as How Trees Make Water. It is an English documentary, and we got in touch with the person. Who made that documentary, and we asked him, can we convert this into Kannada? Can we convert this into Marathi? And can we use it? He said yes. You do it in any language. So first we have done it in Kannada, and we have sent it to all the farmers to understand that the water doesn't come through your dam, it comes from the forest. So similar thing can be, we are working on, we have some of the videos which are simpler, we will share with you, Dina will have. And this presentation also we can simplify it much. This was much done in a hurry because
आपण इथं आल्याबद्दल खूप खूप धन्यवाद. माझं नाव रवी हरमकर आहे. दोनच क्वेश्चन्स आहेत. एक, जे वॉटर डायव्हर्जन होणार, the water diversion which is going to happen is only for sugarcane factory, or there is more like for steel industry or coal industry? And second question is how to make up a sleeping Goans in your style. If there is any solution for that for sleeping Goans.
second question first, we all have to go, and now whomever we meet, we have to do this. This presentation is available. Whoever wants, we can pick up the cells. Presentation from Dina, we'll share her number. And this presentation is available to educating more people and understanding what is happening, and the people who are decision makers understand this is what is happening. Number two, your question was whether this water is going to be used for sugarcane. 100%, because we have a complete data in hand that 9 sugar factories are operating. Sugarcane plantation increase doubled in last 11 years. So each sugar, on average, 1 kg of sugar takes 2,500 liters of water. So when you have that much amount of water, you really don't require a drinking water. So their drinking water priority is not what they are. And 24/7 water exists in Hubli and Dharwad where they say we want water. We have a KUID document. That document completely mentions that we have sufficient water till for next 40 years. Coal, this is not going to be used for coal. This water will also be diverted for industries. Because in Belgaum we found that there is an 80-kilometer pipeline which is laid from Hirigal to Malaprabha, that is Kataprabha to Malaprabha, and they are diverting 1 TMC of water for industries, not for drinking. If they had a drinking need, they would have taken that for a drinking, but they are taking it for industries. So it's a clear evidence is there that taking it for sugarcane. Thank you.
आमचे एक MLA from out of 41 is present over here. So
thank you. So thank you, Captain Nitin Dhond, for presenting this presentation.
Take care.
So I should thank you for coming to Goa. I especially came to see what are your views in Karnataka, what we are fighting for. First of all, I'll tell you a few days back, he came specially from Belgaum to my office in Delhi just to give 30 minutes this presentation to tell me, to convince to what is this. So I should appreciate it. Only coming for 30 minutes in Goa to my office, special for that. So and especially I came today to see this, and all these activities are there. I just wanted to know, because we have a lot of issues we have raised. This assembly also we have raised a lot of questions, we have put a lot of questions. Now this Mhadei, double tracking, this water, is there any link? I have heard before also that now you said that sugarcane factories are coming. Are there that steel factories are coming that side?
There are some.
So anything link is there with this double tracking, Mhadei and this steel factory?
The direct relationship I don't know with this, with respect to coal. But there is one statement which is very dangerous that we all must know. Chief Minister of Karnataka says that we will give you electricity or by destroying wildlife sanctuaries, you let us destroy your forest. This is a dangerous statement. So we have to be aware, this is what they think. You know, you kill and we both will kill something.
Secondly,
The direct relationship is between that two and each other.
secondly, you said that the farming will be affected, the fishermen will also be affected. Because you said that a lot of we get fish because of this in Goa. So I think we have to educate our fishermen also. So because they will not be knowing it. Now we are talking only with North Goa will be affected. So all farmers and fishermen also will be affected. So that also I think we should talk to them also.
So we must. So that is, we'll have one in
So and somebody said also all members should be given this presentation. I think so. You have a special call, only the MLAs and give the presentation. Only the MLAs. Then let us see how many are coming. And I think before assembly it will be better.
In the assembly it will be more better.
Actually, we would request Captain, I think, to make this presentation for all the 39 remaining MLAs.
Yes.
Maybe in the assembly.
I'm not qualified. But if they are MLAs, we'll have to
They need to be educated. Thank you, sir. He is a gentleman.
Progressive Front of Goa will definitely take an initiative to educate the other 39. With this, आम्ही आजचो जो प्रोग्राम जो आसा तो कन्क्लुडिंगाचे व्हरता. हांव रिक्वेस्ट करता बाब सज्जन भाटकार ताणें वोट ऑफ थँक्स दिवचें. ताचे पयलीं एकच सांगूंक सोदता की द सॉल्युशन फॉर म्हादय डायवर्जन जावंक जायना. द सॉल्युशन इज ओनली वन. लोकांनी भायर सरचें पडटलें. द पिपल्स मुवमेंट, ओनली पिपल्स मुवमेंट वील सेव म्हादय. सो फ्रॉम हांगासरल्यान सगळ्यांक परतो एकदा उलो मारता. फॉर पास्ट ऑलमोस्ट नाव 6 to 7 years with the different awareness programs we are organizing, and every time आमी सांगता की people of Goa should come out. जे सुशेगादपणां जी आसा ती खंय तरी बाजूक दवरून, जस्ट लायक कर्नाटका कितें जालें जाल्यार ते येता लागीं. म्हणजे इन कर्नाटका ऑल पॉलिटिकल पार्टी सेज म्हादय आमकां जाय. पण हियर आमी इतले पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज आसात, प्रत्येकाची तोंड एका सायडीक दुसऱ्या सायडीक आसा. एक नॉर्थ, एक वेस्ट, एक साउथ. बट एज फार एज कर्नाटका इज कन्सर्न, दे ऑल द पार्टीज ते म्हणटात आमकां म्हादय जाय, वेदर इट इज बीजेपी, काँग्रेस ऑर एनी पॉलिटिकल JDS. सो नाव इट इज टायम ओनली वॉयस अँड वन वॉयस अँड पिपल्स वॉयस. आनी होच आवाज जो आसा तो तांकां आयकूंक येतलो. हांव बाब सज्जन भाटकाराक सांगता ताणें वोट ऑफ थँक्स दिवचें. थँक्यू.
म्हादय खातीर आभार प्रदर्शन करप म्हाका पटना की सगळे तुमी मोगान आयले आनी मोग कोणाचेर म्हादयचेर आमच्या आवयचेर तुमी इतले मोगान आयले, बसले, आमचे बरोबर पाशयेंस काडले, तुमचे आमी आभारी आसा. दुसरें धोंडबाब, तुमी इतले मोगान आमकां कितलेश्योच गजाली सांगल्यो, आमी तुमचे आभारी आसा. तुमची टीम जी आसा ती पाशयेंसान थंय बसून इतले बरें आमकां सायड शो दाखयलो, तांचे आमी आभारी आसा. थँक्यू व्हेरी मच मॅडम. आय ऑल्सो थँक द मिडिया, ते पयलीं बसून आमचे बरोबर आसा आनी तांच्या खातीरूच म्हादय मुवमेंट हो चालू आसा. तांच्यांनी रायट फ्रॉम डे 1 टील टुडे म्हादय बद्दल जितलें बरयलां ताच्या बद्दल आमी तांचेय आभारी आसा. थँक्यू व्हेरी मच.
Bravo.